the shark that they worked with, and I think maybe the editing put a little too much importance on the golden ticket, but it was funny.
I've seen her do it before, and and it's like I guess it's based on what I've seen. I don't know that it garners any special attention from her, but it gives the people that are pitching the feeling that she really wants this product, and she's really gonna fight for it. And you're getting a place at the front of the line with me, because I want this. I really want to do business with you. I think that's the whole thing. And she used to actually give a ticket just like that looked a whole lot like the tickets from the movie. What was the movie?
Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, Willy Wonka. She used to give those. It was like a ticket. Now she's got a actually really gold little thing that's real gold that she's giving away. So maybe they just wanted that gold thing. I don't know. Anyway, it was a little extra boost, and
a tour of her QVC factory.
Yeah, it worked, and
it worked.
And here's the thing, man. You can look at each shark, and they've all had their own successes, but I think she's probably made more millionaires than anybody on the show. I mean, Mark Cuban's had a lot of success. Kevin's had some success. You could go around, but I don't believe there's been more people that she's made millionaires than anybody on the panel. So it's she knows how to sell, man. She's not a bad choice when it comes to a product like this. And if you get her selling it on QVC, they'll sell these things by the truckloads.
Oh, yeah. Well, I did the math while you were talking, and it's 201,000 units based on the money that they were projected to make for the $2 million and the $995. So that's a lot of bug bite things to be boxing up and shipping out.
Yeah, there's a lot of people packing up some bug bite things. Yeah. Congratulations, man. It's so up to this point, we haven't had anybody go out, have we?
Sets the tone for the next pitch.
Yeah, it's called a segue in the business that we're not in. By the way, if you want your own bug bite thing, just go to bugbitething.com. So, boys, they keep it simple. Jimmy, why don't you do the honors?
Well, there's always got to be some sort of bodily function pitch, and this was the one for this episode.
This one is for all the fifth graders out there.
Plop Star.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bathroom product that helps block odors before they start. Tyler J. entered the tank. He was seeking $150,000 for 10% of his company. And according to this guy Tyler, the world's most discreet toilet odor eliminator is gently dropped into the toilet before you go. Packaged up like an Alka-Seltzer, and you drop it in and it fizzes. And, he passed them out, and everybody had a little container of water, and they were all smelling this. And, of course, we're all imagining the real environment in which this happens. And, I think everybody was sort of curious, and they mentioned Poo-Pourri as one of the biggest competitors. And apparently, I'll admit, I'm not familiar with this line of products, but apparently there are a number of things, and a little vial of oil that you carry around and you drop in the toilet, and it's not as convenient, and it can break open. And Lori was nodding her head like she sort of understood or was familiar with the approach. And I don't want to give away too much because I know we want to see how this develops. But they started talking to him about his background, and I guess he had run an agency or was heavily involved in producing high-end commercials and video for various companies. And he really set out just to have a product that he could sell himself. And I guess he saw his kids doing these little bath bombs, and he thought, wow, I could turn this into a product. And so kind of the opposite of the bug bite thing, where it was satisfying a need. And, I know you're a big fan of Barbara, and Barbara had an interesting comment as they started to play out the number of sales that he didn't have. But he really just wanted a product to sell. And this was the product that he had come upon and thought that his background in video production and producing these high-end commercials would drive the sales, and really was looking for this investment to get all his ducks in a row and all the back end and everything set up just perfect, and then take it out to the market. And so I'm going to throw you that softball and you take us from there.
Well, it's I appreciate that. I as soon as I heard him say that, I thought about how they were going to eat his lunch at this point,
Oh yeah.
And I think Kevin was the first one to make the comment that there's no proof of demand, and so for those listening, and know I've been working on this book. The book's finished, and it's launching March 1st. And I dedicate a portion of the book to talking about people that are spending so much time getting ready to sell something that they don't even know is viable, whether somebody's really going to buy it or not. And years ago, we had a guy on Shark Tank who had this, I guess, this coffee in a can, kind of like a. You could buy it and then on the go, kind of just like buying a soda, but there was coffee, and it was just the biggest hit in Japan, and he went ahead and spent a fortune getting everything set up to market it in the U.S., and he hadn't even tested it. He didn't even know if it was going to be popular. Just because it's popular in Japan doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be popular here. So he didn't do it. And so I talk about that in the book. And this reminded me of that same thing to think about, and there's a certain personality that does this kind of thing. They've got to get everything just right. And I think, we can probably all lean into that a little bit of being, well, I want to make sure it's perfect before,
Right.
Well, history's told us that that's not the best way to do it. I mean, before you invest a lot of time, energy, and money into something, you really ought to find out whether it works. And so it's really going about it backwards. I mean, let the business grow based on the demand. If somebody's saying, I got to have this, the people that come into Shark Tank and say, I can't fill the orders. I need money and I need some help getting the thing set up because I've got orders I can't fulfill. That's the kind of scenario that works the best. I mean, it's stressful and it's hard, but Tyler J, he I think he got the cart before the horse in the whole thing. He walked in there and he had everything looking beautiful. I mean, it looked good. It was packaged well. Everything was great, but he had 12,000 in sales.
Womp, womp, womp.
Yeah.
That sucked the air right out of the room, as it usually does.
It did. And I mean, Lori talked about the Squatty Potty.
Right.
I mean,
which has made millions and millions.
160 million in sales. They've sold 5 million of those things, and that was that. They've got a commercial out for Squatty Potty that's got this unicorn, pooping out ice cream or something. I don't know what it is. You've seen it, haven't you? But I mean, it's popular, and so anyway. But yeah, he comes in there with a $1.5 million valuation, and he has no proof that it's going to work or anybody's going to want it. I honestly don't believe I would use this. I'm not going to carry those things around in my pocket. You know what I mean? Or carry them around in my backpack or my briefcase or whatever. I'm just not going to do it. I don't think about it if I go, and maybe that's a weakness on my part. Maybe there's a certain situation in an environment where you're working in an office that you have those in the on the back of the toilet for people to use. Maybe that'd be good. But he was selling. I don't know.
Well, I know it's a touchy subject. We're trying to be sensitive about the topic, but there is a little lever on the toilet that will solve that problem pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's called a flush.
Yeah.
And just flush. And if you need to flush a couple of times, flush a couple of times.
Well, here's the thing that got me. Here's the part that got me.
Yeah.
And again, it's hard to talk about this and not be somewhat inappropriate. But he said, you go in there and then you open up the packet and you drop it in and you wait a minute.
Right.
Well, I'm not waiting a minute. I don't want to wait a minute. I got to get in there and get my business done and get out of there, And of course, Mark Cuban was the most honest. He says, "I'm out with prejudice, and I'm a man who likes to leave my mark." And so anyway, that's when it. But anyway, Kevin told him to shoot it, and and Barbara just like you said, she goes, "I don't believe there's demand, and the fact that you've did all this preparation without knowing if it's going to work is a bad deal." So all of a sudden we went from nobody going out to everybody going out, and Rohan just said he didn't have a plan, and he started telling him about his plan, and Rohan said, "That's not a plan."
Right.
And so he made the mistake of I think investing way too much in something. And hey, who knows? He might do well, but I don't think that he positions himself in a way to get an investment in a business. And it's not something I'm going to be clamoring for, and buying a pack of those. So anyway, he's another guy that has left the Shark Tank. Going to prove him wrong, and I don't blame him. We're not here to kill dreams. We're just here to look at it practically and see where he is right now and where he went into the Shark Tank. This is what we think. And so anyway. It was a fun little break in the action there on the Shark Tank, but he didn't get a deal. But Sammy, he came in with some good energy. You remember Sammy?
Yeah, there was a little bobble at the beginning. I was going to ask you about that, but go ahead.
Which one?
Well, on his presentation, it's like he started it and then he stopped and then he started it over again.
Oh, I think he froze up.
Yeah, well, I was wondering because I was watching going, did he just completely freeze up, or did the shark say something and he felt like he was interrupting?
Oh no, I think they did that.
He locked up tight, huh?
I think he locked up solid. He goes, he was real excited. He goes, my name is Sammy. My name is Sammy. He repeated his name. There was like this pause. And he said, "Where am I? What happened?
Am I really here?
Am I really in the Shark Tank?"
Yeah, the headlights. Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead and tell us about Sammy. He after he got past that, he rolled then. He was good.
Yeah.
He just had a minute. Funny. He just had a 10 seconds. It might have been 5 seconds. It felt like an eternity.
Oh yeah. Well, they didn't have any music in the background. It was just complete silence. So they wanted to pull the drama out. But yeah, he came out and was pretty open about the fact that he was Muslim and pork was off limits. And he got tired of all his friends talking about pork rinds and cracklings. And he wanted to invent one for himself. And so he was seeking $200,000 for 2.5% of his company for alternative to pork rinds. And again, he had some nice packaging and showed the natural ingredients. And he says everybody likes junk food, but the problem is it's junk. And he says it's going to use fresh ingredients, mushrooms, onions, yucca. And I think the one that got everybody was the whole bag was 80 calories. And he said, I'm not talking about serving size and the whole bag. You can finally sit down and eat the whole bag. And so everybody loved that for 80 calories. But yeah, he passed them out, and the face doesn't lie with a lot of these food tasting things, and the sharks don't always have a poker face, and so I always watch to see what the facial expressions are when they put it in the mouth, right? Because they're trying to be respectful, but if something tastes bad, it's pretty evident. So you didn't get too many faces twisted up. I think Kevin said his first bite tasted like cardboard or paper bag or something, and after his third bite, he was beginning to like it a little bit. But I think generally everybody thought they were tasty and were engaged with his personality. And I guess it had, he had a number of different flavors that he was offering. But, we all know we're all addicted to snack products. And it was interesting, the enthusiasm that occurred. And then as people started to talk about the food industry and how competitive it was and paying for shelf space. And it really made me kind of feel like, oh my gosh, this is sort of a mountain to climb here. And I think that played out in some of the discussions. I know you've witnessed a lot of these discussions about food related products. So jump in and tell me what you